Mohan Krishna, you're joining us. You're joining us on the broadcast. I quickly want to. All right. I believe the connection is really not good for Mr. Krishna. So what we'll do is we'll try and see if we can get some callers in as well. For the moment, let me introduce our guests to you who are going to be joining us on the show. We have Mr. Mohan Krishna, who is spokesperson of the BJP. Mr. Krishna, I hope you can I hope you can hear us. Thank you very much. Brijesh Kalappa, leader of the Aam Aadmi Party, also a senior advocate. It is day one of Mr. Kalappa's role as an Aam Aadmi Party leader and spokesperson as well. Dr. Sudhir Krishna is a former secretary, Ministry of Urban Development, joining us on the show to help us understand whether Bangalore is simply unfixable, that there is nothing anyone can do. And we have a Nagaraju Yadav, spokesperson of the Congress Party, joining us as well. Shrikant Narsimhan is founder of the Bangalore Apartments Federation, and T.R. Prasad Gowda is leader of the JDS. So we have lots of voices, political, social, citizen voices that are coming to us from Bangalore today. Important to hear all of you. First, Mr. Mohan Krishna, I'm going to come to you. Anything you have to say in your government's defense, sir?
Shreya, last half an hour you have showed everything and you have seen everything, and people are facing it here, and we know just outside it's raining heavily again today also. You are showing IT capital, you are showing IT companies boost. We are worried also about the common people who are suffering in the same rain havoc. Let me explain to you. I'm here to not defending the things. I would like to today give you certain solutions what the government has started. 1,600 crore, what Mr. Ashok was saying, 1,200 crores stormwater drain, cleaning and everything. For that matter, tender has been called and it will be done very soon. That's one part. Second part, we have identified 693 properties, those who have encroached the stormwater, what we call in Kannada as Raja Kaluve. And that we are already started demolishing. The other day when Arvind Dibawali's issue, when you were seeing, that was because of that only, that lady who was encroached, she was trying to defend herself by saying that I have not encroached. Let's forget that. Let's come to the point. Now, Chief Minister is trying to talk to ISRO to find out how the climate changes are going to happen in the next coming months and coming years also. He wants to take a long-term decision, long-term solution for the Bangalore. It is not just a short-term solution, just by, no lip services. It is absolute. People should enjoy by living in Bangalore than by calling it as apathy by living in Bangalore.
Mr. Krishna, I appreciate that the Chief Minister has called up ISRO and wants to know from ISRO what climate change is going to do to the city of Bangalore. I appreciate all of that. I want to ask you, when you talk of a long-term solution, because you're saying that we require a long-term solution, Mr. Krishna, just how long will it take for a solution to come? You have been in power, sir, for 3 years.
No, let me please explain, Shreya.
Before
Shreya,
that also you have been in power.
Shreya, please let me explain to you. It is long-term solution means it is not for short-term just to take out the water and make sure that the roads are clear. That they are doing it. Compensation, we are giving 25,000 to the houses wherever the water has been logged and wherever the water has entered into their houses. And for that, and even major amounts will be disbursed to them. Compensation, I'm not talking about the compensation here. I'm just talking about the solution, what we have to find out.
No, but solution you're telling me is something that lies in the future.
Not in the future. We have started already. We have to start it.
You don't, sir, we don't need ISRO to tell us where the stormwater drains are clogged. Sir, just 1 minute. I don't want to be accused of speaking over you, sir. But I just want to ask you, we don't need ISRO to tell us where all in the city that the stormwater drains have been encroached upon, or where all, where all they have malba that needs to be cleared. This is something that we don't need satellites to see, sir. This is what citizens of Bangalore see every day, the civic body sees every day. Now, when something like this happens, you say, we have allocated so much money, 1,600 crore rupees just to clean the, stormwater drains, to remove encroachment from there. Sir, all of this should have happened 6 months ago.
For your kind information, I'm talking about the projects which we are taking to clear off the stormwater drain, Raja Kaluways. We have to build more Raja Kaluways to make the stormwater drain to flow from there. That's one point. Second point, that is the 1,200 crore project what I'm talking. What I'm trying to tell you is long-term solution. It doesn't mean that 25 साल का करेंगे वो जो कांग्रेस जब किया ऐसा नहीं करेंगे आप 6 महीने में आपको करके दिखाएंगे
नहीं तो 3 साल से क्यों नहीं किया Mr. Krishna, I appreciate what you are saying. My simple point is 3 साल से क्यों नहीं किया ब्रिजेश कलापट हाँ yes sir
Shreya, you said why you want ISRO. ISRO we have that kind of we have a very fantastic ISRO in Bangalore and that's in Karnataka. So we are taking that help of the ISRO, not for stormwater encroachment. We are taking it for climate changes, how it is going to happen, what kind of planning has to be made.
Oh, Mr. Krishna, many citizens calling. I have given you time to explain the BJP's point of view. Because we need, Bangalore citizens and citizens of this country need to hear where the BJP is coming from. It's your government in power. Now we will let everyone else speak because I have callers who are calling us as well. I think I see someone putting up their hands. Is it you, Mr. Shrikant Narsimhan? Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Shreya. I was just listening to the Revenue Minister, Mr. Ashok, and subsequently Mr. Mohan Krishna of BJP. They're talking of 1,600 crores being allocated right now. The reality is, in the last 5 years, the total amount that has been spent on stormwater drains is 3,200 crores. And this is the money that BBMP has spent. We have gone into the BBMP system, pulled out all the data that we have with us. 3,200 crores has been spent on stormwater drains over the last 5 years. And you know what is the status of the stormwater drains in the city? There is a stormwater drain project for 8.5 crores that was spent 2 years back, connecting the Harlur Lake to the Kasavanalli Lake, to the Kaikondrali Lake, to the Saulkere. Those lakes are the epicenter of this whole problem that we are seeing in Bengaluru. There is a stormwater drain for 8.5 crores that was supposed to have been constructed. We actually made an inspection a few months back. It's done in patches. It starts from the middle of nowhere, ends in the middle of nowhere. Total corruption completely eating into the fabric of the city. The stormwater drains in most parts of the city now are non-existent, or where they are existent, completely clogged, choked, and not able to carry the water that it is meant to. No wonder water finds its way to the path of least resistance. And that's why we're seeing all the flooding that's happening. The founding father of Bengaluru, Nadaprabhu Kempegowda, had designed a beautiful system where if one lake overflows, automatically the Raja Kalways carry the water to the next downstream lake. And if that overflows, it goes to the next, downstream lake, so on and so forth. Today, not only are the lakes encroached, the stormwater drains across the Raja Kalway network is in such a bad shape. It's just not able to carry the water that it is meant to. So that is the root cause of the problem. And that's why many of us citizens, we have all now come together to form a new political party purely for Bengaluru called Bengaluru Navanirbana Party to focus only on BBMP and the civic issues.
There you
Enough
go.
of all these national issues and state issues. Bengaluru needs somebody to focus on the civic issues, which is threatening to cause huge damage to its branding, to its visibility, and to its business over the next few years.
I have callers here, but I just quickly want to tell Mr. Krishna, is the problem the rains or is the problem corruption? I'm hearing from Bangalore citizens. You've just heard from one Bangalore citizen. Let me get 2 more Bangalore citizens. They're calling us on the phone line. Raj Gopal, you're calling us from Bangalore. Please go ahead.
Much for this opportunity given, and I'm quite thankful to. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead, Mr. Gopal.
I'm so thankful to Mirror who have been consistently covering the woes of our citizens of Bangalore. Not just today. I've seen your channel been covering all these aspects. We are not interested in what ISRO or NASA is going to do for Bangalore. We're talking about a simple subject of an infrastructure being in place. It is no rocket science. I'm not interested in how much 1,600 crores or 3,200 crores. End of the day, there is nothing happening. There is nothing at all happening. And I'm not going to blame just the BJP. Consistently, successive governments have done nothing at all. And so I'm not even interested in getting into political parties. Who's done wrong? We, at the end of the day, are suffering. And promises after promises after promises by successive governments.
Okay.
It's just pathetic. It's just pathetic. We are not come here to pay huge taxes and just to have those floods and those waters, which I'm seeing it on the screen. Not done. Just not done.
Agreed.
The panelists must
Bangalore deserves
just
better,
put your heads
and the
together.
citizens of Bangalore deserve better. We are tax-paying citizens. We deserve better. I believe we have another caller from Bangalore, Swaroop Kumar. Mr. Kumar, please go ahead before I go to the Congress spokesperson.
Thank you. Thank you for connecting me to put my views before you people. Thing is that I'm a retired government officer. I know how the system was working and is working, number one. Number two is that whenever the bureaucracy submits the proposals, they are looked into in a totally different view by the ruling dispensation and the people who are governing the state. See, since 2018 and 19, we are having incessant rains in the state of Karnataka, and the ruling dispensation is very well aware of it. But their focus is on something else, not on the basic infrastructure. They want only the revenues to be generated out of the establishments and companies which are in Bangalore. But they give scant attention, very minimum attention to the infrastructure of this Bangalore. And I'm telling you, CM himself is in charge of the Bangalore development.
Yeah.
And since 2000, this hijab, halal, this Ganesha, this Savarkar, this Eidgah, is this the way to run the government?
Sure. I hear you and I feel you as well. Sir, thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Nagaraja Yadav, you had your hand up. We have callers, no one from the panel. We have callers itself saying that don't just blame the BJP. Every successive government has been corrupt. They have only wanted to make money when it comes to developing urban infrastructure in Bangalore. And the Babus have been indifferent. And this is how the story has been going on for the last 20 years, because of which we are seeing what we are seeing today.
I listened to most of the people what they spoke. Now, the first thing I would like to tell you, madam, the minister in charge of revenue department in Karnataka state, whatever he stated, the blatant lies. He's trying to fool the people of the country, which is not acceptable. Today, I'm telling you, BBMP has become mere collection center of taxes and become a corruption center for the entire identity. Bangalore is sinking today. Today, BJP is now in the governance, not only for 6 months. They are in governance for past 3.5 years. 3.5 years time, they spent more than 3,200 rupees for stormwater drains cleaning. Whatever Srikanth said, I completely agree with it because that much amount has been spent now. And Bangalore has got a budget of 10,000 crores. 8,000 crores has been given by the government of Karnataka on taxpayers' revenue to the Bangalore development.
Yes.
And the court is every time summoning the corporation commissioner, telling him to look at the roads and also asking for a statement by making a statement by a judge saying that the Prime Minister or the President should he be in to visit Bangalore to make the roads all right. The road conditions are bad, drain conditions are bad, stormwater drain conditions are bad. It's all completely broken up and governance is nothing is there. They are only busy with all the polarization of politics in the name of halal card, jatka card or Savarkar or something else, which is not acceptable at all. People of Bangalore are looking forward for a better development because Bangalore is one of the fastest growing dynamic city in the world.
But
The
they
entire
were
world
looking
is
for good
towards Bangalore.
development and good urban infrastructure.
Yeah,
Even
let
when
me-
your government was in power, Congress,
let me tell-
JDS.
Let me tell you, madam, this was not.
Is this the first time we are seeing pictures like this come from Bangalore?
No. This is not.
These
this is
pictures
very
have come
pathetic
out
today in the history of Karnataka.
No,
this is
no,
pathetic
no,
condition
sir.
what we are seeing
No,
today.
don't
When
go back into
Siddaramaiah was
history of
there-
Karnataka,
Madam,
sir.
Let me complete it. Let me complete. When Siddaramaiah government came to power, you would have noticed the BMTC workshops were flooded with 5 feet of water inside the workshop. What we did, I was the chairman of Bangalore BMTC at that time. What we did, we made a parallel nala so that no water comes into the BMTC workshops or to the Shantinagar area. We did that. This thing was spending 15 crores there. And we did it. Today it's not flooding there in Shantinagar. We have done something, and when Siddaramaiah was there, stormwater drains were completely. We have tried to eradicate all the encroachment, and by the time we lost the government. The government which came in power after that is BJP government. BJP government is held responsible for it in power today. They are answerable to the people of Bangalore. Today, drains are not there. And also the allegation of the contractors who are maintaining the Bangalore city and the stormwater contractors are complaining the Prime Minister for 40% commission. No action is being taken today. What more blatant...
I should come in, please.
Mr. Mohan Krishna, I don't have too much time on this debate. It is 45 already and we have some speakers who have not spoken. But I will give you 10 seconds to respond, after which I'll go to Mr. Kalappa.
Today I'm telling you, it is BJP is responsible for all this thing. It's not political game. As a citizen of Bangalore, I'm telling you, this is not acceptable to Bangalore.
No, BJP is not alone responsible, but I will let Mr. Mohan Krishna respond. Please go ahead, Mr. Mohan Krishna.
Mr. Nagaraj Yadav doesn't have anything to say except blaming BJP. I will ask a simple question. When you were there in power in 1990, between 1990 and 2006, what have you done for the planning for the Bangalore? Please explain to the people today. Let people understand what you have done. You are blaming BJP. When did the BJP rise the administration? It was in 2008. It was in 2008, not before that. Why you are talking before that? What were you doing? What have you done for the Bangalore? Please explain to the people. Because of your bad planning...
BJP is asking the Congress what you have done from Bangalore, and Congress is asking the BJP what you have done from Bangalore. Mr. Brijesh Kalappa till recently was...
You are lying to the people. You are lying to the people. You are lying to the people.
Gentlemen, it really will not help if both of you speak over each other, because I will not understand anything and the viewer will not understand anything. So let's not waste the viewer's time. Mr. Brijesh Kalappa, would you want to come in here?
Yeah, Shreya, thank you very much. First is that, I heard Mr. Mohan Krishna say that there are some long-term measures which they are thinking of. In the long term, we are all dead, Shreya. In the long term, we are not going to be alive. So one, there has been, when Mr. Modi made an appeal for a double-engine government, right? He got not just a double-engine government, he got a triple-engine government. There is one government at the center, government at the state, and also at the BBMP. Now, these have been the wasted years. This triple engine government has been the wasted years. Now, if you asked me, I was a previous...
Oops, I think we have lost Mr. Brijesh Kalappa's. Mr. Kalappa, I think we have lost your audio, so we'll try and fix that up for you in just a bit as well, because you were making some interesting points. We'll just come back to you till my technical team actually tries and fixes your audio issues there. Let me go to someone who understands urban planning. We've heard from the politicians, and we'll hear some more from the politicians as well. Dr. Sudhir Krishna, you're a former Secretary, Ministry of Urban Development. You're joining us on the broadcast. Can you help me understand if Bangalore and where it stands today is unfixable, given the urbanization that we have seen, given the fact that there has been encroachment on lakes, there has been encroachment on stormwater drains. The city simply doesn't have the capacity to accommodate the number of people that live in it now. Is Bangalore unfixable, or can something be done? Now, we have the BJP spokesperson telling us that, the Chief Minister is tapping into ISRO. There are some long-term plans that will be drawn up. In the short term, what can we do?
Well, in the short run and in the long run, both have to be seen. Because when heavy rains come, then in the short run, the drains have to be cleaned and so on, and that is going on. But the rains are extraordinarily heavy this time, and therefore it is a challenge. Unless the long-term solution is noted, it will be impossible to, have a short-term solution. Short-term solution will be like relocating people from here to there and so on. That is and the rains will subside and sometime it will go away. The water will recede, but the miseries will continue for a long time unless we go in for a longer term solution. And I should inform you that long term solution is very much on card. It is very much on table. It is very much, but only thing is it has to be reviewed and implemented fast. Now the long term plan has got two frameworks. There are many other. One is to regional planning for Bangalore. The entire development is in Bangalore Central. Only it is people are moving out of Bangalore. Activities are moving away from core city of Bangalore reluctantly. Just, so our outer ring road is already choked. The area is quite choked. What has been done in 2005, I was commissioner of the BMRDA, Bangalore Metropolitan Region Development Authority, and we have prepared a plan for satellite town ring road. Bangalore is surrounded by very nice towns, whether it is Ramanagara, whether it is Dodballa, Pura, Hosakote, and so on. So a ring road which surrounds Bangalore quite away, some 30 kilometers or so away from core city of Bangalore, and satellite towns would be developed, and all satellite towns will be connected by a very nice road, which now it has come under Bharatmala program. Finally, it has been approved. And then there will be arterial roads which will be connecting the satellite town ring road to core city of Bangalore. On the satellite town ring road, satellite towns will have to be developed. In fact, we had notified also one project in Biddi township, and somehow it did not, bids were called and many things happened. But now somehow it was not taken forward. But again, so satellite towns will have to be developed. We don't have to, crowd Bangalore and reluctantly move out. We have to consciously and proactively develop the satellite towns surrounding Bangalore, connect them in a circular manner and also radially to the city of Bangalore with proper, mobility solutions. That is one way. And the second is to have a drainage map for Bangalore. I must say that while some of the speakers have found that favor with the satellite imagery, some have not found, but I think it is a must. It is a must to review the satellite imagery because the natural rainwater drainage mapping. Drainage means when the rain falls, where it will go. The rainwater has to find its place in two ways. One, to some extent, it has to go underground also. Majorly, it has to go to the lakes, and when the lakes
but where are the
full,
lakes? Mr. T.R. Prasad Gowda, where are the lakes?
No, I'm coming to that, madam. You see, the thing is, we have to see the time. This flooding of Bangalore has given an opportunity to sit and discuss what is to be done now and what we are doing, suppose, in this debate. And also, so the water has to first go from underground to some extent, then it has to go to lakes, and from lake, the overflow has to go to further drains, natural drains, and go into rivulets and on to the rivers.
In the last 20 years, I was looking at some data. In the last 20 years, apparently 200 lakes in Bangalore have simply gone missing.
Yes.
That's the reality of the situation that we live in. Mr. Krishna